Can you hear me, Q? Okay, I got you. I'm gonna bring you in a minute. A lot of stuff to dive into over the next hour or so. So, hey, got a special guest here too. We gonna, treat our guest nice and polite. He was, nice enough to let me go on his show and roll on my, my keys to victory. We had a good debate, and so we gonna bring him in early. Let him, say his spiel, what he saw, positives, negatives about, the game itself, and then we gonna let him roll out. We gonna try to torture him or nothing like that. So keep the comments to positive as can, because I know it's gonna be a little bit of trash talking. But we're gonna bring in Quincy, huge Browns fan, and I was fortunate enough to be on his show last week, and we're gonna bring him on today. What up, Q?
How you doing today, man?
I'm good. So let me make sure everybody can hear both of us. Hey, let me get a thumbs up in the chat box if you can hear both of us. I was fooling around with some stuff down, and I want to make sure I got it back right. So if you guys can hear me, like the thumbs up in the chat box. They going on about Queen. That's all they want to talk about is Pat Queen. And he probably ain't even listening to me yet. But I'm gonna assume they can. I just need one person to thumbs me up, and then we'll be good. Yep, that's all I needed was that one. So, hey, appreciate you coming through, and just giving us your thoughts of what you saw. Obviously, the Ravens won 38-6, and the first half to me the first quarter started off tit for tat. Both teams had little miscues that you can tell they didn't have a preseason to kind of work some of those things out. But eventually, the ball got rolling, and the Ravens ended up winning 38-6. So, as far as positives for your Browns, what did you see?
There's a few positives, not really overwhelmingly many. They did decent enough with outside contain. Like, they didn't let the Ravens kill them on a lot of stretch runs here. Even with Lamar Jackson, pulling it out on some of those read options. They actually did a solid job stopping that. Defensively, that's about it from all the positives. Offensively, Kareem Hunt looked good. David Njoku looked good. But it was really about what they did to themselves. About this Browns team. To be honest with you, Odell Beckham and Nick Chubb were in the twilight zone today. I don't know what happened to them, but they just looked poor out there. Odell honestly just didn't seem focused.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened with him. Was there something that was going on? I know he didn't get a target in the first quarter. I don't know if that was an effect on him for the rest of the game, but it wasn't like he wasn't able to get open. He was able to get open. He just wasn't finishing any of these plays. Like that ball, that 4th and 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bad. And then you had things compounded. Baker throws an interception in that first drive, and then you get that fumble from Picard, and then you get all the way to the 29-yard line, and then you just get penalty after penalty, and you shoot yourself in the foot there.
I think they ended up with a 4th and 47 or 41 or something like that.
Yeah, 3rd and 37 or something ridiculous like that, And then, you do the fake punt, which made no sense to me. You're giving the Ravens short field. Why in the world would anybody want to help the Ravens offense score? We talked about this last time during that debate. That Ravens offense is like an avalanche.
Yep.
Once that snowball starts getting some steam downhill, you can't stop it. And in the first half, things weren't going right, but they were able to at least stop the avalanche from killing them. Like that fumble from Picard was huge in that moment because it looked like it was about to go downhill. They stopped it, but then they just didn't do anything after that to give themselves momentum, and then it just allowed Baltimore to just steam them downhill. The secondary, they've been miscommunicating back there all camp because they haven't had that first team back there healthy for more than 2 consecutive practices. So you saw a lot of Marquise Brown wide open.
Yep.
You saw a lot of Mark Andrews like that touchdown pass with Mark Andrews. Nobody was in 15 yards of him.
Exactly.
How does that happen? a lot of the things that I saw in camp about this defense happened, and the offense and the team and the decisions made didn't do anything to help them. I don't think the defense played like one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I just think they didn't do themselves any favors against one of the best offenses in the NFL, and they did what the Ravens are going to do if you give them that opportunity. They proved this last year. Like, how many good teams did they beat down because those teams gave them too much of an opportunity? If you give the Ravens an opportunity, they're going to explode through that hole and they're going to beat you down. Yep. Like, you got to get the Ravens off. You got to get them off rhythm, off platform. Like, you got to get them off access and take advantage of that. The Browns gave them way too many opportunities to jump back in here, whether it was bad play calls, bad decisions, bad passes, bad wide receiver play, just overall sloppy day. You're not going to beat the Ravens. You're not going to compete with the Ravens if you come to M&T Bank Stadium and play sloppy. That's just not going to happen. That's not realistic. So the Browns, they did not come with a game quality enough that was going to beat the Ravens in any respect today. Nah, that wasn't it.
Now, I do have a positive for the Browns.
What's that?
That drive where they kind of ran it down our throat. Mm-hmm. There should have been more nuance to that. They should have took it upon that drive to try to find ways to do some things similar. Maybe the package plays like that, but in different formations. And they completely went away from it, which I'm happy they did. They completely went away from it. Or on that drive, our inside guys were screwing up, and they got it right. One of them two things happened. That drive was impressive.
I feel like also, I agree with you on that. I think they went away from that outside stretch run a lot on the Ravens later on in this game. Like, I think they felt like they were getting the run game going when that drive, and they realized they could have the outside with Kareem Hunt especially. Mm-hmm. And they just kind of went away from it. They didn't want to. They wanted to force this ball inside, and it's just like.
And then Odell too.
And it was just. It was just. I think the best thing for the Browns is that they play on Thursday, and they can get that one out of them.
Get over with.
What's it, Bill Belichick? You got to turn the page. We're on to Cincinnati. Like, that's all you can do. and they beat your butt.
The thing is, my takeaway from the Browns is and not just this game, but I think they have a good roster on paper. Obviously, because of our debate the other day, they have a good roster on paper. I think the one thing that holds them back, just from looking at it from outside looking in, is Baker Mayfield from the neck up. From the neck down, I think he's a good player. He got the tools, he got the arm, he can move around a little bit. He's nimble enough. From the neck up, until he get it right, I think it's gonna be problems. And I saw a little bitchiness. I don't know if that's a good word out of Odell today. And he ain't do nothing crazy, but you can just look at body language and see frustration. And that's why I feel like they were trying to force him the ball, which was good for us, because if I saw him trying to force it to him, obviously the team on the field knew that, so they just kind of locked him up, and then he dropped the ball that he normally don't drop, and so we just played upon his emotion, because if Landry is not a big enough factor, Landry got to be Robin. He can't be Batman, and when we had clamps on Odell, Landry wasn't a factor. The only person that probably could have caught balls was, and they did, they should have caught more probably, was Njoku and what's the other guy? Hooper?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm worried about the chemistry there with Odell and Baker. That's what it felt like today. Like, they were frustrated. They couldn't reach each other. Now, that could just be a one-game thing. Like, that's happened before. Mark Andrews and Lamar, I think week 4, had that kind of frustration. They just didn't have it together. Then they got it together for the rest of the season. So, like, that can be fixed. It's just, if you're the Browns, you really need Nick Chubb and Odell to have a bounce back, because what you saw from them today is just unacceptable. Like, Nick Chubb fumbling, really not being productive today. Odell just, I don't know what happened with him. He was just in la la land today. Like, he seemed like he let Marcus Peters get in his head about something. Like, it really felt like that it was another one of those situations. And with Odell, that started to become a pattern. How many times does he let one of these Ravens defenders get in his head? Like it's happened last year with Marlon Humphreys. So, he's got to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because he's old enough to know that these things can't keep happening, especially against big games like this. And, hopefully it's just a one-game thing, and he has a bounce back against Cincinnati.
Yeah, at some point he got to look in the mirror and be it's me at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Because Jarvis ain't going to save you. Baker, I don't even think Baker played terribly today. I just think he I don't know. He just, it wasn't there for him. Like the secondary did a really good job for the Ravens. The pass rush was there. Sometimes it wasn't really like in his face though. So he didn't make a lot of the same intercept. Like the thing I like about Baker though today was that he didn't force things at the end of that game. And that's where Baker can kind of just that's why Baker can lead the league in interceptions, because at the end of those games, he'll just start forcing bad balls. Like you watch the second half of that Tennessee game when it started to go downhill, that's where Baker Mayfield kind of went downhill with. I'm glad that it seemed like he broke that habit today, because it could have happened today. Yep. He could have easily did that and threw 4 or 5 interceptions in the second half today, trying to make something happen when it's not there. I like the decision making there. I think he played a smarter game. It's just the chemistry has to be there. He has to throw some better footballs, quite honestly, because sometimes he's just missing dudes. Yep. And he's got to get help from Odell. Odell has to help him out here. And, Odell can complain about him missing him on that one slant where he was wide open, but you got to help your quarterback out instead of, get into your own head and honestly do a better job than the Ravens did taking yourself out of the game.
Right. And the last question I have for you before I let you get out of here is, and as tough as this may be because you're a Browns guy, what impressed you the most from Baltimore?
Oh, Calais Campbell. Like that's going to be, I knew that defense was going to be good. I just didn't know how they were going to be able to recover from, not having Earl Thomas back there, but Calais Campbell was just a force in that front line. Also Patrick Queen, he wasn't really getting taken advantage of today. He didn't get, pulled off on those play actions like we kind of anticipated. Also, Orlando Brown had himself a really good day. He was kind of out there on the island with Miles Garrett a couple times. He did not become a factor. Even when they had Ronnie Stanley out, that first drive, it was a little bit of an issue. And then that last drive, where I don't know why they had Lamar in there. I felt like y'all had Lamar running out there way too late in that game, just begging for problems. So I didn't understand that from just my point of view. But, I walked away from this saying that I hope the Ravens, just if they want to get to where they want to go to, I hope they understand more that their bread and butter is going to be with their tight ends. And I think their defense is going to be able to help them out a lot more than last year, because I think Calais Campbell, that defensive line is just serious. Yep. And that's really what I came away impressed by. I think last year you guys didn't have that classic Ravens defense until about the second half of the season. This year, it's a classic Ravens defense, and it's one of the best offenses in the NFL. It's going to be something to see what this record could be. It's why I've always said, like, I think they're going to go 12-4, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something ridiculous like 16-0, because this is honestly one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team right now.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you for joining us, Quincy. You took some time out. Obviously the game didn't go the way you guys wanted, but hey, it's NFL. You got 15 more chances, and like you said, y'all get to run it right back out there. You can't dwell on it because you run it back out there Thursday versus another Heisman winner, Joe Burrow.
Yes, Joe Burrow.
So I appreciate you coming through. And again, when we play you guys again, we can kind of run the same deal if you want to. I'll come to your channel, you come to mine, whatnot, and we can run it like that, man. I appreciate you for coming through. Plug your stuff before you get out here.
Hey, if you guys want to see more of me or see my miserable reaction from this week's game so y'all can laugh in the comment section, I know how y'all going to do. Make sure you find me at youtube.com/Quincy Carrier. You can also just put Quincy Carrier in your YouTube search box. I'll pop up. So find me there.
Appreciate you, Q. Appreciate you. Have a blessed Sunday, buddy.
Hey, thank you, man. You have a great day, too.
Let's see. All right, got Q out. Nice. On to us. It's on to us. On to us. So first things first, I Papa freaks. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Got lit off track for a minute. Let's go to the stat box. Let's go to the stat box. So I put out a video with my keys to win, and in my keys to win, obviously you know the first thing was time of possession. So let's go to time of possession. I'm scrolling over here. Y'all can't see it, but I'm scrolling over here finna find time of possession. All right, here we go. Time of possession. Whoa, that's a shocker. Wait a minute. We lost time of possession by 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We lost time of possession by 2 seconds. That's crazy. So whew. But I guess because of turnovers and the big lead or whatever, this will be one of the few times we lose time of possession and win the game. I think because it wasn't a knockdown, drag him out. It was a blowout. So but we lost time of possession. That shocked me. It almost got me kind of off track for a minute. But let's bounce on up here to some more stats, some individual stats. We did lose time of possession. The other key I said was make sure when those guys catch balls, we get them on the ground. So no yak. You didn't see it, when they caught balls, they went to the ground, or they were balls where they had to dive and catch, or there was no yak out there. There was maybe a little, but not a lot of yak. So that helped. And the third key was make Baker go up on his second and third reads. And what I meant by that is put some pressure on him. Don't give him time to go to a second or third read. And that happened in the middle of late in the game. But the only thing, it didn't happen with just the front four or the front three, however we did it. It came by sending LBs, and when when Wink decided to do it, man, it was like shoot, they was coming from everywhere. DBs were coming, Queen was coming in the middle. It was, man, they just got out the box and got nasty with it, got super nasty with it. But yeah, I know it's a little lag. I don't know what's tripping on this today. Maybe because I use StreamYard, but StreamYard failed the test today. I'm gonna finish this out with it, but they gonna get the boot next time. Boot. But anyway, we just gonna enjoy this victory. We ain't gonna let the little lagginess mess up our fun time today, and we gonna go from there. So I got some notes I took down during the game so I can run it with you, and I'll kind of interact with the chat box as we go. To do this, make sure I'm set up so I can see you guys' chats. All right, first thing I want to mention is I was watching the Ravens pregame, and they did a story about Mose Rose and Mo Gabba. So if you don't know, the Ravens basically took a section of the lower bowl and put cutouts of Mo Gabba, who recently passed. And they showed a video. I guess they filmed, the things or whatnot, and brought his mom. They left one spot open for his mom to put her picture in. And so when they filmed it, they brought her in. It was so freaking emotional, and for me, just to look at it and not even imagine what she had to go through to just in that situation. She lost a kid at 14 years old who fought like a soldier for his life, four different times. But for what Baltimore did to honor that kid, and I tweeted this or put it in the chat by the time, we are actually fans of probably one of the greatest organizations in sports for doing what they're doing for Mo Gabba. And they painted the MO goal in the end zone for him. And Big Reg, I was in tears too, bro. Like I was wondering who was cutting. I had just finished cutting onions for the grill, but they had me in here like, struggling. But again, I appreciate Baltimore. I'm glad I'm a fan of this organization. The things they do for people that the stuff they do for people that they don't have to do. That they just go out of their way to make people feel special, and they just do a good job of it. But yeah, Troy, I saw the golden MO too, and just the way they put that together and did it for him, and his mom's reaction to it was amazing. It was amazing. My heart goes out to her And I don't know if Mo got brothers and sisters, but if he do, my heart goes out to them, aunts and uncles and all that too. But it did give me chills also. But moving on to football, and it's just the transition from that is crazy. When I first found out Tyree was starting, we was watching that same little YouTube live stream, and they kind of led to the fact that Tyree was starting. I was like, oh my goodness, we about to start a rookie at right guard, and against Oben Joby and all the other guys. And I was like, whoo, man, I hope he do his deal. So with that being said, at that point, I knew one of the videos we're gonna get this week, we're gonna examine Tyree. We're gonna examine his start and kind of see what he did, in his very first start, in a huge role. He was replacing an All-Pro guy, potential Hall of Famer. So one of the videos you're gonna get this week is, whenever they give me film, is of Tyree starting. All right. So moving on to the first quarter, again in my notes, Queen's first sack. When Queen ran through there and he dipped his shoulder on whoever tried to block him, it was almost like that person wasn't even there. He got through there so fast. Like, I ain't seen a Ravens linebacker blitz like that since Young Ray. And I'm not comparing Queen to Young Ray. So don't quote me as saying I'm thinking Queen gonna be Ray Lewis. I'm just saying I ain't seen a dude blitz through the middle like that fast in a long time. That's all I'm saying. In a long time. Not comparing Ray to Queen. Don't get it. Don't put the words in my mouth. I'm just saying. He got his first sack early, got it out the way, and now, hey, it's time to ball. Got my first sack, it's time to ball. Another thing that surprised me, Malik Harrison tipped the ball in coverage. We all were talking about how much of a big hitter Malik was and how he was a run-stopping dude and whatnot. And I even said that initially until I went back and watched film. And the reason I was able to see that because I went back and watched film on Chase Young and some other guys Ohio State had, and I started to see Malik in coverage more. And I'm like, well, he's more athletic than I gave him credit for in my video. And so once I saw that, I started giving him credit for his ability to be a thumper and being more athletic. Then come to find out, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Malik came to Ohio State as an athlete and not just a linebacker, if I'm not mistaken, because I heard he played a bunch of different positions in high school, maybe even quarterback. But he dropped in coverage and dove and tipped the ball that probably should have been intercepted by Chuck Clark. It's crazy. A thumper in coverage like that. So that's more versatility. That's more versatility. More versatility. One thing that I thought was funny, and I mentioned it while Quincy was on here, the Browns were driving, and they were in our territory, and they ended up with a 3rd and 41. That's crazy. A 3rd and 41. Let's answer Devin's question. Hey, Coach, how much does it affect offense and defense when everybody can hear each other, including the opposite sides? Did you see the press conference yet? PQ was wearing a Ray Lewis shirt. I didn't see the press conference because I came in here and started trying to set up my situation. You know what? I don't think it may affect it a little bit, but the NFL got enough calls and enough audibles and stuff in their repertoire, in their playbook, that it shouldn't affect that situation. Maybe if you go to something more than 3 or 4 times, they'll pick it up. But because they have so many different checks and audibles and whatnot, once or twice I don't think it'll hurt. But if you go to the well too many times and people on defense hearing the same thing, or people on offense hearing the defense call the same thing, they'll pick up on that. But as long as you got enough of variation in your verbiage, whether it be pre-snap or post-snap, I think you'll be all right. Because, and not to compare NFL to high school, you can hear pretty much all the stuff in high school too, and it, the quarterback and their calls and stuff don't really mess with each other. All right. First negative I got on my paper. Prochet let that first ball bounce on when he was returning the punt. He gave up like 15 yards in field position by letting that ball bounce and not getting to it. Luckily, we ended up with a 99-yard touchdown. But hey, you don't want to do that, and I think he learned from it later.
Trust. Woo woo. Lamar Jackson.
In the flesh. I appreciate like father, like son for dropping 5 in the super chat. He came with a question. He says, offensive and defensive grades. Any worries going forward? Offensive grades, and first of all, let me say this. I'm going to use the first drive or two like preseason. In my mind, that first drive or two is like preseason because this is the first time they got to go against anybody else, and it's like a filling out part. So, but after that offense got the rolling. Other than the Ricard fumble, other than that Ricard fumble, that offense got to rolling. And as Q mentioned, it's like an avalanche going straight downhill. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop it. And one of the notes I have on here, which is the next note, that play action game was deadly because we were running the ball. The way we were running the ball. That play action boot or that play action and pop and let me pause for a second. And somebody just put it in the chat box. Did y'all see how accurate Lamar was? He had all those different throwing motions. He was over the top. He was from the side. He was on the run, fading away, a kind of semi-crossbody. Did y'all see all those different arm angles and all that different stuff? And it was accurate. And his throws were accurate. I saw one throw, and this later on in my notes. I saw one throw that I would consider a bad throw, and it probably was more of a bad decision than a bad throw. It was later on in the game, and I don't know if it was what up, Donovan? I don't know if it was Snead or I think it was Hollywood he was throwing to, and it was like 3 Browns around. That's the only bad throw that I can remember, and I think that was more so a bad decision than a bad throw. Well, he did have a bad throw to Boyer too that kind of hit Boyer in the ankle. But still, he was so accurate. Another thing that stood out to me, what Lamar's play is, he looked poised. He looked extremely poised. Like one play, he kind of bounced around the pocket, bounced up against people and whatnot, and then like spent the body and completed the pass. Didn't look flustered. Didn't look rushed. Didn't look like he was trying to, do some backyard type stuff. He looked in control the entire time. Even though when people were close to him and around him and the pocket was kind of collapsing, he looked in control the whole time. Let's go to the next on the notes before I get to y'all. Did you guys see Snead's block on Dobbins' first touchdown? Did you not see Snead's block on Dobbins' first touchdown? That was the epitome of no block, no rock. Snead locked whoever the corner was down, and Dobbins just ran out there untouched. Snead set the edge on that. And I love receivers that block. Y'all know it. If you've been following the channel, rocking, y'all know it. Snead blocking on that edge was crazy. Hey, do me a favor and hit the like button too. All right, let's talk about that 2-minute drill. Now, yeah, I watched the first half and I noticed how accurate Lamar was, but like the thinking of it and the hair standing up and me really honing into it was that 2-minute drill right before the half. And somebody put it earlier, he was surgical. Different arm angles, drilling the ball, putting touch on balls, timing. Man, bro, that 2-minute drill was a thing of beauty. That was Tom Brady, Joe Montana-esque, but with mobility. That was Tom Brady, Joe Montana-esque, but with some of it happening outside of the pocket. That was Steve Young-esque. That 2-minute drill deserves a video. That's my second video. Just that 2-minute drill. Let me write that down. That 2-minute drill was, man. And he's right, it was less than 2 minutes. It was we didn't have a full 2 minutes. I don't remember the exact number. Maybe it was like 130, maybe 140, or somewhere up in there. It was 1 something. But that because we took our timeouts early. We took our timeout after the first 2 plays. We took our 2 timeouts that we had. Then everything else was sideline, or incomplete, or a touchdown. So yeah, that 2-minute drill gonna get a video of its own. So that's our 2 videos so far. Tyree starting, because I don't want to do the obvious stuff that like Baldy or somebody gonna do, and then I'm gonna get flagged for that crap. So I'm gonna do, and Baldy, if you watching, don't steal my shit. Tyree starting, and the 2-minute drill. 47 seconds. That happened in 47 seconds. Wow, that's crazy. That's even more to it. We covered all that ground in 47 seconds. But I do know we took our 2 timeouts after the first 2 plays, and then I was like, well, I don't know if we're gonna have enough time. Just get in field goal range. But they wasn't thinking field goals. I was thinking field goals. They was thinking 6, and they got it, boy. They got it. All right, moving on after halftime. What I did see, did y'all see? There was a one play they tried to like swing Kareem Hunt out and like run on a little out route or something like that, and the ball got knocked down by a defender. So I'm like, ooh, Tavon's all over that, or Chuck Clark or whoever that was. But after the guy rolled over, it was Bowser. It was Bowser defending Hunt in coverage in space. Bowser in space, covering probably one of the better receiving backs in the league. Probably one of the better receiving backs in the league. Good job, Bowser. Hey, I feel you. And you got a little bit of pass rush when we was blitzing. A little bit of pass rush. Brings me to my next point. We had lots of pressure on Baker. The only bad thing about that, the pressure came from blitzing a lot. We didn't get a lot of front 4 pressure solo. But we got pressure when Wink decided to blitz. It was balls to the wall. Balls to the wall. Go get them. Queen coming. We had some DBs coming through. It's crazy. I was impressed with it. I was impressed with the blitz package because you can do that when you locking guys up. You can do that when you're locking guys up. And it was one play where we sent 4, didn't get home. Baker pump fake like 12 times and still end up having to almost throw it away because we locked them guys down. We locked them down. So looking back on it, they had one real threat, which receiving wise, no, they had more than one. They had their tight ends were threats. They just didn't go to them a lot. But receiver wise was Odell, and Jarvis was, I don't know exactly what he had. I got on the screen behind this. Jarvis was almost non-existent. He had a couple of catches. Odell had some drops, but for the most part, our DBs locked them cats down. Locked them down. Locked them down. And speaking of locking them down is my next point. Juice man in coverage. Odell ran a little in route. MP Juice man playing outside leverage. So he know he ain't going outside, waiting on him to break in. He broke in and should have just taken the ball out of Odell's hands. His hands were on the ball before Odell got his hands on the ball, and they just happened to drop it or whatnot. So Juice Man was in mid-season form on one of the probably the better receivers in the league, and he was in full butthole mode because we know if he's not on your team, he can get under your skin. And if you let him get under your skin, he's probably one of the better guys that talk trash and can back it up. So if he in your head mentally, and he locking you up, which is gonna do something to you mentally, it's crazy. It's crazy. Sir him, yeah, it's a little lag. I tried something different, and we do have lag. So yeah, we lagging today. But stay with us. Stay with us. Appreciate you for coming through too, sir. Appreciate you for coming through. It's a little lag here, but we're gonna get through it today. We're gonna have it fixed for next week. Next note I got, Prochet learned on his punt return lesson. So later on in the game, they kicked the ball to Prochet, and there was a little traffic around him, but he caught the ball and maybe got like 10, 12 yards out of it. He learned from that mistake. That first punt, I was thinking maybe we wasn't gonna let him go back out there. Because he lost like 15, 16, maybe even 20 yards on field position just by not being sure enough to catch the ball, and then it rolled to like the 1. But still, I think he learned from it. And somebody said earlier that he looks slow. He looks like that because he takes short steps. He's more quick than fast. Prochet's not a burner. Prochet's more quick than fast. He can get in and out of cuts quick. He can fake you out quick. But as for a straight line speed, he ain't gonna be in that competition. He ain't gonna win that race. But he can run routes. He can get he do things because he got them short steps and he had good body balance. So he's not a straight burner. So he may look slow until he can get through something and then maybe break out and open up. But he run a lot. He got a lot of short, choppy steps, and that helps him in route running. Next, The Joker running the alley and laying the boom on Kareem Hunt. Did y'all see the Joker run the alley and just flat out lay the boom on Kareem Hunt? Boom, like all caps boom, like the old Batman movies when he punched somebody. Boom. That. I love it. I love it. Makes us didn't. It made me not even think about the former starting safety at all. At all. I didn't even think about the fact that that guy wasn't back there. But still, it's early. It's early. To me, Elliott passed test 1. Just starting and being a pivotal role in the defensive scheme, he passed the first test. The good thing about it was they played as a team. They all were flying around to the ball. When Queen got his sack, it was like I felt like the entire defense got a sack. Did you see Calais in the open field swatting balls? I think the first interception was because Calais tipped the ball. They flew around. They played like Ravens. They got after it. That's the defense having fun, flying around, just doing their deal. It's crazy. Next thing I got. I saw a play where Judon was in coverage. And I don't know how much of a fan of that I am. Greg, that's a great point. I didn't get that one. That's a great point. Didn't see any. I'm going to come back to Judon. Didn't see any miscommunication on defense. I did not. That's a really good point that I missed. I didn't write that down. But those things don't stick out until there is miscommunication. So that's probably why I just didn't think about it. Those things really show up when there is miscommunication, and they may score on or something like that. But that's a great point. No miscommunication on defense that we know of from watching the game on TV. So that's a great point, Greg. Appreciate it. But back to Judon. Every now and then, I just hope that's not a constant thing with him dropping in coverage and just let him rush the passer. Put somebody else in there. Bowser can do that. You know what I'm thinking about? Now that I think about it, Judon probably can do that better than Ferguson. All right, so I'm probably going to snake that on back and take that back a little bit because Ferguson is the one that I don't really want to see in coverage. Even though I know both of them got to do it because they're outside linebackers. Pursuit. Next thing I got. The pursuit was awesome. The pursuit was awesome. Like I just mentioned earlier, they were flying around trying to get to the ball. I talked about it earlier. One bad throw, but it could have been one bad decision. One bad throw was one bad decision for Lamar. He threw the ball to Hollywood, I think, and like 3 Browns were in the vicinity, and it ended up landing. They didn't pick it off or anything, but it wasn't a good decision or a good ball. I don't know which one it was until I go back and see it, but definitely that. I wrote down tackling was good for not having a preseason. And so there were missed tackles, yes, especially on that drive where they ran, got all those yards running. But as for not having a preseason and not going against another team, most of your camp, I think tackling was okay. I think for, like I said, for no preseason, no like practicing against anybody else. How they visit different teams and they kind of do like joint practices. None of that. I think tackling was okay for the first game. I think it's gonna get better. All right, Flukel at tackle when Stanley got hurt. He gave up a sack almost instantly. So I just don't think he's the answer as a backup tackle. I'm not at practice, so I don't know. But he gave up a sack right off the bat at at tackle, and J.J. Watt is up next. So I don't know. Hopefully Stanley's all right. But J.J. Watt is up next. All right. Stanley's ankle is the next thing. I hadn't heard anything about it. I hadn't watched any post game, anything. Haven't been on Twitter or anything since the game was over with because I came in here to get ready for you guys. So I'll see some of that stuff later. And if you guys have seen them say anything about Stanley's ankle, put it in the chat box too. All right. And the rookie impact is my last little part. The rookie impact. So I'm gonna talk about the ones I could think of straight off the bat. Round 1 was Queen. I think he did a great job in his first game. Grade wise, just from looking at it with the naked eye, I'm gonna say he A for his first game. But I don't know his. It was just I got to see film. But just from looking at it with the naked eye, A. Who's our second pick? Oh yeah, he do say that. Let me see. You threw me off track, Mike, with Stanley taking your ankle. So Queen gets an A in my opinion. Who else we got? Tyree gets an A for me because they didn't call his name a lot. He started, they didn't call his name a lot. Dobbins was our second pick. Dobbins gets an A, 2 touchdowns. I don't know how many yards he had. I can go back and look in a second, but 2 touchdowns. So I'm pleased with Dobbins. And if I'm not mistaken, Dobbins probably had the most snaps. And Matabuke, I don't know how much Matabuke played. Who else we got? Geno Stone was inactive. Bredesen, I don't think he played. I think Broderick played. I don't know how much though. I think Broderick played. I've got to go back and see when I can get and see the back view and see the numbers on what I'll know who all played and whatnot. But as far as the main, and Malik did good. Malik had a tackle or 2, definitely had a pass defended, and just look natural out there. The Matabuke was inactive. Appreciate that, G-Star. That's why I don't remember seeing him. So Washington was the one I think got a few snaps. Matabuke was inactive. Appreciate that. I know Stone was inactive too. McSorley was inactive. RG3 came in and did his deal. I think that's about it for them new guys. But the standout for me, offensively, initially is Dobbins. But I think after I go back and look at that film, the standout for me is going to be Tyree. Obviously, Lamar was throwing dots all over the place. Had a good QBR, as I think Sir Him just put in the chat box. But Lamar's the MVP, so we're gonna expect Lamar to do this all the time. I know I am with him being the MVP, the reigning MVP. I'm expecting him to have games like this all the time. I really do. But I think Tyree is gonna be my standout for the week, and I can't wait to go get that film and go back and dive into it. But I know, and like all the main people gonna be talking about Dobbins and his 2 touchdowns. My video this week is not gonna be on that. What up, Sudden Death? I took my 2 videos and potential third one, but my 2 videos are going to be on Tyree starting and that 2-minute drill. And you know what? For my Patreon folks, because I neglected them, but it's time for me to get back to them. I'm gonna do a third video for my Patreon people, and that third video might be on. I'm gonna let it be a secret. But the Patreon people, you'll get a video. So I'll do one I do the one on Tyree for YouTube for everybody. I'll do my Patreon one, which I'm not gonna tell the topic on until I get ready for it. Then I'll do that 2-minute drill, the next one. So those are my 3 videos: 2 for regular YouTube and 1 for Patreon, and we're gonna run it like that. And if you want to be, click the link for my Patreon. I don't know if it's in the description of this one because I did it at the last minute. But definitely in all my other videos, there's a link to my Patreon on there. And if you just want to go on the Patreon, just sip the tally. But anyway, so now I think I'm finna open up the phone lines and see if we can get some people in here. Let's see if this still works. Go to my banners. Put that down there. Come over here a little bit. Everybody in here, yeah, we're a whole family. Ravens family, we always run together. Always run strong. And I had this up earlier, but I took it down. It may not even get nobody. I know my boy Godson not knowing to call in. Let's see what we get. Ravens, you over there getting that work in too. Appreciate you. Free conference call, cutting up, huh? Y'all taking my screen away. Taking me off the screen. Let's see. Y'all see all my background stuff now. All this stuff I need to clean my desktop off. Come on. I had this set up before we started, but I wanted to make sure everything was working. You know you got to check your connection and see if stuff's still working, and it was. But while we waiting, let's get in here. In the chat box. And that's probably why we lagging. You know what? Let me just get in the chat box here we do it. I'm going to say what's up. I'm going to run down this list and say what's up to a bunch of people because they weren't here when we started because obviously I know other people were streaming, which is all good. So I want to say what's up to Sam, G-Star 007, appreciate you. Braden Weird, Troy, Sudden Death, Miss Antoinette, Equality, appreciate you. Who else we got? B-More. Oh, one thing I want to talk about that I just thought about. Did y'all see Gus? Gus should have had a touchdown. Gus out there with looking like the Terminator, the one clean carry I saw him get, probably should have been a touchdown. Probably should have been a touchdown. What up, Enon? That dude need to get some more carries. I don't know how he gonna do it. I don't know how he gonna do it. And Ingram, like Miss Antoinette said, Ingram only had 29 yards. But whoever's gonna dish out carries got a problem.
Welcome and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. You're helping people around the world communicate for free. You are the only participant in the conference.
Yeah, there we go. Got the phone line up now. Let me take this little audio out real quick. And we can roll. Godson, I know I'm waiting on you to come through like you normally do. Get the elevator music out of there. Nah, there you go. There we go. There we go. Gus was running full. Yes, Troy, you saw it. You saw it, definitely. You definitely saw it. Gus hit that hole wide open. Wide open. And had he not, like, I don't know if he tripped over somebody or somebody grabbed his feet, he hit that hole wide open. Like, ready to take it to the crib. Let's see. Chat box. Here we go. There we go. J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins had 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns, but we got a stable back there. We got a stable. Gus could have been super, super nasty with it. Super nasty with it. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm happy with what I saw. Who we got coming in? We got Houston. Which, you know, they had a chance to sit down and watch Houston Thursday night. Houston didn't look the greatest, but they were playing the Chiefs. And I think this is going to give us a chance to kind of judge where we're at compared to the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs played Houston first week. We playing them second week. So this is going to give us a chance to kind of judge where we're at. So, you know, and not judge up where we are versus Houston. But where we stack up versus Kansas City, which is who we probably going to have to beat to get over the hump anyway. So, but I don't want to look too far ahead. You know, we got this great victory today. I'm going to run through these stats. And then, you know, if nobody call in, we're gonna end this thing. Because I want to get back to the second half of football, too. Probably already missed a half. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's see what we're rolling with. Hey, who we got? What up, Nerone? Let me make sure they can hear you, because I can hear you clear. Make sure the chat box can hear you before you dive into your questions. Chat box, can y'all hear Nerone? Let me get a thumbs up in there. What's good with you, Nerone? Okay.
That was me. And
gotcha.
So the problems that I kind of had with this game was tackling. Because as you saw, it was kind of hard to tackle the back, especially for Kareem Hunt. and Nick Chubb. And so I had problems of us tackling them, which I understand because this is our first game, and we didn't have many practices with tackling. And so that's kind of one of my issues that I had with this game. Another issue that I had with this game was that not so much. Well, that was one of the.
It was low. All right. So this what happened. So I'm gonna tell you what Ron was talking about because the volume was low and it's tripping. So I don't want to, having the whole thing and miss the show like that. So what he was saying, he was having a problem with the tackling, and that's me now. That's me. He was having a problem with the tackling, and so see, it may still be here. It may just be me because this is cutting up right now, which is bothering me. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna fix this, and then we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be A1 ready for Sunday. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna fix my phone line because it's messing up on my end. But Naron, this is what I do for you since I ended up cutting you off, which by mistake. Hit me on Twitter, Naron, and I'll send you some merch from the store. Cause I hate the fact that I cut you off like that, which I wasn't trying to do. I was trying to fix the problem. So Naron, hit me on Twitter in my inbox, and I'll send you some Sip the Talent merch. I hate that I cut you off like that. I ain't that type of dude, but I actually hit the wrong button while I was trying to fix it. But he was talking about he didn't like the tackling, which the tackling was suspect, and my reasoning was because it was no real preseason, but it could be a number of things. What up, Ingraven? Ingraven came through. Appreciate you. I was in his stream right after the game, and his post game stream always be lit because he can that man can go. But I gotta have some I gotta see something better to talk about it. And Raven can just talk and keep you informed and entertained, and I gotta work on that part of me. I gotta have film so I can talk about it and go from there. But appreciate you, Raven, for coming through. And we had the whole Ravens fans flock in here, family. We had Raven, we had Raven C, we had other people. I want to say Alex came through for a minute. It's just the whole Ravens family. And I appreciate you guys for coming through. And again, I'll get that phone line fixed. It's just, preseason for me too. But I appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Appreciate you for coming through. And again, my caller, hit me in the inbox. I'm going to send you some merch. Because I didn't mean to hang up on you like that. I was trying to fix the thing. And that's really bothering me right now. So I'm really kind of messed up, flustered over my words because of that. But that's why I'm going to go ahead and end this. So I can get that fixed. But again, let's give you the schedule for the week. First video you're going to get is of Tyree and how did he do with him starting. Second video is going to be for my Patreon people. I haven't gave the topic yet. Third video is going to be that 2-minute drill that was masterful by Lamar and the Baltimore offense. So that's the schedule for the rest of the week. And I wasn't able to give you guys my Thursday night. I wasn't able to give you my Thursday night lights thing because the NFL Network didn't give me the film from the game. So I don't know if they're holding it till they put all this out, but if they gonna hold Thursday film till Monday or Tuesday, that screws up my Saturday plan for Thursday night lights. But if they start giving it up, I'll bring it out. But if not, it is what it is. But hey, I appreciate you guys for coming through. This has probably been one of my most successful post game shows. Well, I appreciate Quincy for coming through early. Appreciate all you guys in the chat box for coming through, man, showing love. I appreciate it. Promise you, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate this 5. I got the super chat. Just the love is crazy, man. We're up to 4,200. Study growing slowly but surely, and I appreciate it, man. Slow growth is better than no growth. And this is Coach Evans, man, with Sip the Talent Films. I appreciate you guys. Hey, we 1-0, 38-6. Everything for the most part looked good except for Ricard's fumble. And make sure you go out and support all your Ravens streamers. Me, Raven, Sonny, What's the B word? Who just popped up right on? Boy, your timing couldn't have been better. What's the B word? Let me start over now. Me, Ing Raven, Sonny, Joe Nubo. What's the B word? Alex, Simply AS 10. Who else I'm missing? I'm missing somebody. Sudden Death, Raven C. There's a couple more guys out there that I'm probably done forgot, and I hope they don't, throw shade at me because of. But go follow them guys if you don't follow them already, and we'll be here next Sunday, man. We'll be here next Sunday after the game. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna space this thing out so we can visit Ian Raven. You can visit me. You can visit anybody else that's doing post game breakdown. We're gonna space this thing out. Hey man, appreciate you guys. Raven Flock, this Coach Evans, and I'm out. Oh, I did forget Birdland. I ain't in the stream yet. I just turned it on. I forgot Birdland BS. Fred and Scott with them guys. Now I'm in the stream.